Hey house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Roy Rogers and Jefferson Tucker. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below because it's only $1 for a holla. Woo! Alright. I'm exhausted. The last 24 hours have been absolutely nuts. Super entertaining, but also draining. Okay, so last night, Tina was voted out by a vote of 3-1. We saw that. We know. Okay. It was an amazing move by Kiefer to flip that vote because he is one of the biggest threats in the house to win this whole entire thing. Terrible move by the trio to keep him, but that's what happened. So then Tara won the HOH. Oh my god. She won her POV last week. She won her HOH this week. It's freaking wild. And it was so exciting. Like, And then Arissa announced to us, not the house guests, but to us, there's a twist next week. It's the fake double eviction. So it sounds like they're going to play it out like a real double eviction. And then the two evictees will compete against each other. And the winner is going to stay in the game. Honestly, like, this twist sounds awesome. It would have been fantastic during the Victoria and Rohan double eviction. But not now. Not when the trio might finally be broken up. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. What a disaster. Alright, well anyway. Keep this twist in mind as we go through, like, all of this stuff. And there's a lot of stuff happening here. So when the feeds came back after the show, Kiefer was already kissing Tara's butt in the HOH room. Let's just put this into context as well. Last week, Kiefer was telling Tara openly, like, if I win HOH, I'm going to have to put you and Brayden up on the block because I swore on my kids that I would not go after the trio. But then Wednesday night, Thursday morning, he was talking to Tara and Brayden about making a big move against the trio and that he was ready to do it. And the trio was making the biggest mistake of their lives, like keeping him around. So it's definitely good that he started putting in the work Wednesday night, Thursday morning, so that it wouldn't just seem like he was saying all this stuff after Tara won HOH. I honestly don't know what Kiefer would have done if he had won. He's saying he would have made a move against the trio, but can we actually trust that? Yeah. Alright, so Kiefer's telling Tara, I am not going back to the other side. Yeah, because Tara won HOH, duh. But he's saying to Tara, I will go to the end with you. And Tara says she wants that too. That's all she's wanted all along. She's wanted to work with him, but he kept going over to the trio. So Kiefer says, well, now we have Brayden. He's legit. He did really well in last night's HOH competition as well. He's always, like, right there, second or third place. And he's saying it's the three of us versus the trio now. It's 3 versus 3. He says Brayden is strong. He's ready to go. And Kiefer says, I can work on Ty as well. Try and pull him away from the showmans. And boy, has Kiefer been working on Ty. He really has been putting in the work. So, which we'll see. But Brayden joins them a few minutes later, and Kiefer's like, wow, this is the most unlikely trio in BB history. I gotta say, I'm here for it, though. I am into this trio. I want to see what they can do. I'm really bummed out that this twist might ruin it all for them, but we'll see what happens. They say they're ready to battle, and Tara says one of the trio will be leaving this week for Tina, for Blue Line. So they're all pumped up about that. And they can't wait to see the jury's faces eventually when somebody from the trio walks in. So then Beth, Ty, and Jed. This is the first time in a while that they or one of their close allies are not in power. So they were hanging out in the Destiny bedroom. They're like, what do we do now? Okay, so Beth is saying Kiefer is throwing us all under the bus so hard this week. Yep, especially Beth. And Beth says she's going to tell Tara that Brayden is just going to the end of this game. He's just going to fly by. And he's done nothing to earn that spot. What is Tara gonna care about that? Are you kidding me? And Ty says, yeah, Tara probably wants that. Brayden would be a great person for Tara to bring to the end because she could potentially beat him. So Beth says, well, any move that Tara makes this week is actually my move. So this is something that Tara discussed with Beth in the past before, like, she started winning competitions and stuff, because Tara was trying to suck up to Beth. And now Beth has this in her head that, like, she's running the show here. So Beth says if Tara tries to make a big move and take out Jed, and Beth votes Jed out, that's not going to be Tara's move, taking Jed out. That's going to be Beth's move. I feel like Jed felt really uncomfortable as Beth was saying this in front of him, but oh my god, Beth, stop! You are not running this whole game like you claim that you are. But they're discussing potential plans that they're gonna try out this week. Maybe, like, have Kiefer in on this and try to convince Tara to backdoor Jed or Ty. So the plan would be to put Kiefer and Brayden up on the block. The trio would win the power veto and, whoa, keep the nominations the same, what a surprise, and vote out Brayden. So just real quick, like, nerd thing. Technically, there's no more backdoor from this point forward because everyone except the HOH plays in the power veto competition. You could still be the replacement nominee, but it's not technically a backdoor. So there's a lot of issues with this plan, which we'll talk about. But Ty's like, I don't know if we have Kiefer anymore. That's going to be a big issue. He says Kiefer is going to be playing for himself more than he ever has been. I mean, we put him up on the block last week, and that was messy. That was really messy. That's going to have consequences. Also, would Tara even bite on this plan? Why would she try and backdoor one of the guys when she can just, like, put them both up on the block? But Beth is confident. She thinks that Tara will go for this if Kiefer presents it to her and Beth pushes for it as well, and maybe they even get Brayden in on this to push for it. So, like, everybody would be saying that they want this back door except for Ty and Jed. This is too much. Also, they'd be asking Kiefer and Brayden to go up on the block as pawns. No. So, Beth says it's Kiefer's dream to be in the Final Four with them. Something has snapped. Kiefer is now like, no, I don't want to go to the end with them. Seems like he's not doing that whole to be the best, you got to beat the best anymore. He's just like, no, I'm going to get there with who I can, and I'm going to try to beat them. So, that light is flickering. It's freaking me out. So, Ty says that whole going in the Final Four thing with Kiefer and the trio has really gone down on Kiefer's priority list after last week. Yeah, again, they tried to screw him over, and then they changed their minds. So, Beth and Jed are saying, well, Kiefer offered last week that if Brayden won this HOH, he would offer to go up on the block. Which he did say that, but he's not going to do that. He's not going to follow through on that. No way. So, also, like, he was talking specifically about Brayden, and of course, Tara's the HOH this week, but still, like, he's not going to do that. So, Jed's like, what's the worst that could happen if we try and pitch this plan? What, Tara doesn't go for it and we go up on the block anyway? So we can at least try it. Ty says, or we can try to strong arm her. There's another plan here. Maybe we tell her, we're going to take you to the Final Four, you know, if you don't put any of us up. But if you take one of us out, you're going to have two of us coming after you, and you're going to be the next one to go. That always works, right? People do not respond well to strong arming. And I think Tara would be one that would react very negatively. So anyway, Jed and Ty continue to talk through scenarios alone. And they feel like Kiefer is definitely salty after how things went down last week. You think? But they're going to keep pushing Sunsetters hard and try and repair that relationship with Kiefer, because they don't see all of them making it through this week without Kiefer's help. So Ty says, we knew how to win. You know, we've been winning this whole time, but now we gotta know how to lose. And Jed agrees. They're so positive. It's great. So Ty says, we can get out of this, but it's gonna be hard. It's going to be a lot of work, but we've both had productive conversations with Tara in the past, which is true, and he's hoping that they're going to be able to build on that. And again, they're going to need Kiefer on the same page this week, though, to make it happen, which the chances of that are very, very slim. Like, no way. So then Kiefer joins them, and Ty is like, do you think the four of us can get out of this week? And Kiefer's like, well, I know for a fact she's not going to put me up. That's nice for you. He says, not after Tina's speech when she was saying they got to, like, stick together or whatever. So Kiefer says, on the bright side for them, if somebody does come down, Brayden would probably go up as the replacement nominee. They've all got this in their heads that Beth is not going to go up on the block this week because Beth and Tara have talked so much about how they need to stick together as, like, the two women that are left and blah, blah, blah. I don't see Tara sticking with that. No way. But also, I feel like Tara only puts Brayden or Kiefer up on the block if the third trio member wins the power veto and saves one of the other ones. Because then she would have to put up Kiefer or Brayden, and then the trio controls the vote 2-1. So Tara does not want to be in that situation if she doesn't have to. But Jed and Ty are like, oh yeah, that'd be good if we could get Brayden up on the block. Because again, the trio would control the vote. So then they discuss the possibility of throwing the POV to Beth, assuming she's the one that's not on the block. And Kiefer's just playing along with all this right now. He's like, yeah, sure, like, we'll see what we can do. So the trio spent a lot of time last night trying to figure out which plan to go with, and also, they're all on slop. They're finally all have-nots this week. I can't believe it's taken this long, but it's going to be a rough week for them. So, on the other side, Tara spent a lot of time last night relaxing by herself in the HOH room. The trio wasn't really approaching her with any game chat last night. I think she, like, had a few drinks, too, so they were like, let's wait until tomorrow. But she was just looking at her pictures, listening to her music, and then she had a few chats with Kiefer. Kiefer was saying, the trio is begging me to try and get you to nominate Brayden this week, and Tara says, that's not gonna happen. Ooh! Kiefer says that he and Brayden are leaning towards Jed and Ty going up this week. They think that that would be the move to do because they're not so sure that Beth would gun hard for the power veto. Beth has been trying to sell that she wants Ty or Jed to go, and that's kind of working. Like, they're kind of thinking maybe Beth would just go along with it and let it happen. No. I think Beth would absolutely use the POV if she won. But, like, I also think that she is the least likely of the trio to win the power veto. So I feel like, for that reason, you gotta keep her off the block, right? Because I feel like anybody in the trio is gonna use it on somebody. So you want to pick the person that's least likely to win to stay off the block. But Kiefer says, as long as Beth doesn't win the power veto in that situation, it's fine. Because even if Ty or Jed win, Beth could go up as the replacement nominee if necessary, and they're still getting rid of somebody from that trio. So Tara's like, yeah, sounds good. She wants to talk to everybody before she solidifies her nominations. She says it's all going to come down to the POV this week. You know, that's really going to determine a lot. The nominations, the initial nominations are not as important here. But Kiefer keeps pledging his loyalty to Tara, and they talk about going to the final two together. All right. So then this morning, Jed and Beth continue to flesh out their plans. They got that possible fake backdoor pitch. Got to sell it like everybody's on board for it except for Ty and Jed. They got to act like they're in the dark about this whole thing. So they're trying to figure out, like, the logistics of this. So Beth would have to go to Kiefer and talk about all this. And he's going to be let in on all of the information. He's going to know that this is not an actual backdoor plan. Beth does not want to get out Jed, even though she's going to be pitching that. The plan would be win the power veto. Well, first of all, get Kiefer and Brayden up on the block, win the power veto, leave the nominations the same, and evict Brayden. So Beth is also planning on talking to Brayden, but she's going to pitch it like this is an actual thing that she wants to happen. Like she actually wants Jed to be evicted this week. And that's not gonna get back to Brayden. I need to turn this light off because it's gonna drive me crazy. Ooh, okay, we got some mood lighting, but it's what we're working with. So anyway, Jed is wondering if it's gonna be more realistic if they pitch Brayden and Ty going up on the block instead of Kiefer and Brayden, because then, you know, they could say one of them is still up on the block. Also, Ty and Brayden are pretty close now, so it would be a good idea to break up a duo when there's a trio sitting right there. Are you kidding me? So, they're also saying if Brayden wins the power of veto, they're going to try and convince Tara to put up Kiefer and let you have 2 votes? I don't think so. So their other plan is for Jed and Ty to just go up on the block, accept it, try to win the power veto, and get Brayden up as the replacement nominee, and of course, vote out Brayden. So Beth seems pretty confident that she is not going to be going up this week. So she thinks there is a good chance that they'd be able to get Brayden up as the replacement. She's like, Tara swore on her kids that she wouldn't put me up on the block. When are they going to learn? That doesn't mean anything. This is a freaking game, okay? People are gonna bounce checks. They're gonna lie. So then, at one point, Beth was talking to the cameras alone, and she's like, I'm a genius. Let Jed think that this is his move, but it's my move. Oh my god, Beth. Sure, take credit for it, because this crap is not even gonna work. But she says, step 1 is filling Kiefer on the plan. Step 2, tell Brayden that I want to backdoor the guys. Step 3, get in Tara's head and try and convince her as well that she wants one of the guys out. So Jed goes and fills Ty in on the plans, and Ty's like, okay. He's not super confident about this whole, like, fake backdoor plan, but he's planning to talk to Tara and try to really play up his relationship with Brayden. So if he does go up on the block, he's hoping he'll be up against Brayden and not Jed. I mean, what else can you do at this point, right? At least his is a little more realistic. But anyway, Ty and Kiefer were chatting in the Expedia Junior room, and Kiefer says, the time has come to really start looking out for yourself, not just the Sunsetters. And Ty agrees. Ty says best case scenario at this point is for Beth and Jed to be up on the block, and Beth has to go. So this is something that Ty and Kiefer have been talking about for a little while now, getting rid of Beth. Kiefer agrees. He says Beth does way too much, and Kiefer is pushing that if Ty and Jed were up on the block and Beth won the veto, that she wouldn't use it on either of the guys. But, like, she absolutely would. She would absolutely use the veto, and I'm pretty sure it would be on Jed. But Kiefer, I think he actually does believe that she wouldn't use it. And he's also trying to get the trio to turn on each other. He's trying to get the target on Beth. And, like, honestly, it's working. So Brayden and Tara were chatting in the HOH room. Tara says she knows they haven't really talked a lot of game. They haven't really even built up too much of a personal relationship this whole time. But she trusts him the most out of anyone who's left. She still feels, like, a little uneasy about Kiefer, and Brayden agrees with that. He's like, yeah, Tina told me to trust you, but Kiefer, I don't know. Like, he wants to, but it's still really shady what his relationship is like with the trio. So, that being said, they feel like they still need Kiefer right now. They need numbers, right? So, Tara says she's going to be talking to everybody today, and she's going to be trying to stir the pot. She's going to be trying to turn that trio against each other and trying to deflect attention off of her and Brayden working together. So she's telling Brayden, you got a gun for that POV this week. We cannot let Beth win. So at this point, it sounds like Tara is planning to put Jed and Ty up on the block. And Tara says, we're going to need to have Kiefer around as a shield next week. Brayden agrees. So really gonna have to go for that POV to make sure that Beth doesn't win. But if Ty or Jed win the power veto, Beth would be going up as the replacement because Tara says one of the trio has to go. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so then Jed had his one-on-one conversation with Tara. There was nothing mind-blowing here. We have so much other stuff to talk about. I'm not really going to go too in-depth here, but she basically told him, it's time to play for yourself, which is something that she's been saying to all of the throuple members. And she also said, like, if you go up on the block, it's because I wouldn't want you to use the power veto on somebody else. If you win, I want you to use it on yourself. And she says, like, I want you to fight for this POV. So it's like, whatever. Nothing too exciting there. But then, Beth was chatting with Kiefer in the Expedia Junior room, and here we go with this fake backdoor plan. Beth is like, I think I know a way that us four can all survive this week. Oh boy. So, she tells him all about this fake backdoor plan, and she's like, we gotta convince Tara that we want Jed backdoored. You and Brayden can go up on the block. We'll win the power veto, leave nominations the same, and we vote out Brayden. I'm sure Kiefer loves this. But Beth says we can completely run Tara's HOH. Oh my god. So she says, I think we can convince Brayden to go up as a pawn. We'll tell him, like, this is your chance to be part of a big move and get something on your resume. So Kiefer's playing along with all this, even though it's insane, and he's like, yeah, this would be great TV, like, definitely, like, let's go for it. So after, Kiefer goes and talks to Brayden and gives him a heads up about Beth's plan, and Brayden's like, why would I ever volunteer to go up on the block? Right? It's ridiculous. So then Beth continues her tour of ridiculousness. She's chatting with Brayden, and Beth is like, we need to think about ourselves at this point in the game. What if this is the week to do something crazy? She is acting like she can't even say what she wants to do this week. It's so fake. And then she's like, what if we backdoor Jed? And then she's like, she's like screaming like it's so crazy, and she just like thought of this in the moment. It's ridiculous. And Brayden knew that this conversation was coming, which makes it even more ridiculous. But Beth is like, I don't see Tara putting me up this week, and Kiefer doesn't seem to think he'll go up, so, like, what if you went up as a pawn for this backdoor plan? Like, you wouldn't go home. You'd be completely safe, and it would be on your resume. And Brayden's like, shut the F up. That's something he says a lot, in, like, a fun way. But it was just very funny. But Beth is still trying to say, like, this will go on our resumes, not Tara's, if we pull this off this week. And Brayden's just kind of, like, not really giving any answers, but just like, oh my god, like, that'd be so crazy. So then later, a little later, she just asks him, like, would you be cool with going up on the block? And Brayden's like, no, I don't want to go up. So, yeah, Brayden and Kiefer were laughing about all of this later. They just think this plan is absolutely insane, because it is. So, yeah, meanwhile, Kiefer and Ty are talking about how ridiculous Beth's plan is. And Ty is wondering, in what world is that a good idea? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And he's like, I can't believe that Beth is trying to finesse me going up on the block. Like, of course, I'm going to be the one that has to go up on the block with Brayden for this freaking plan. And Kiefer is doing a really good job here of, like, stoking that fire and turning Ty against Beth. And he's actually even convinced. I'm pretty sure he's not just saying this for, like, scheming reasons. I think he actually believes that Beth is trying to get rid of Ty and not Brayden, because he knows that Beth is close with Brayden, or at least, like, game-wise, surface level, whatever. So he's like, why would she keep you over Brayden when she knows that Brayden will, like, want to go to the end with her or whatever, which I don't think he does. But, yeah, it's really freaking Ty out, and it's really putting some more deep cracks into that trio. So then Beth chats with Tara in the OLG room, and they're all like, boys game, blah, 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 we need to stick together, all that stuff they've been saying lately. And Beth brings up her fake backdoor Jed plan. Of course, she's selling it as a real backdoor Jed plan. But Tara's like, Okay, cool. But what if I put up Ty and Jed right away? Like, if you won the power veto, would you use it on one of them? And Beth says no, which is a lie. But Beth is playing it up like she wants to get one of those guys out. So she's like, okay, well, if Jed wins the power veto, who do you put up? Kiefer? And Tara's like, I don't fully trust Kiefer, but I want to keep him in here as a target because I need to make sure that I'm going to be safe next week. And if I've got Kiefer in front of me, that's pretty good. So Tara says, Beth, you don't have to worry. Like, you going on my HOH would not be a good look. I don't want that to happen, but I'm going to need you to gun for that power veto and, like, not use it. So Beth was also trying to put forward Brayden as a pawn, but, like, it wasn't really working. So, I don't know. Is Tara buying that Beth actually wants Jed out? Is this convincing her? I don't know. But shortly after that, Kiefer tells Tara all about Beth's fake backdoor plan. So he lets her know this is BS. Like, Beth does not want Jed out this week. She's creating this whole plan just to keep Jed safe. So Beth is actually intending on using this plan to get rid of Brayden this week. However, Kiefer is convinced that Beth is trying to take out Ty with this plan, not Brayden. And again, he figures Beth is going to want to go to the end with Brayden over Ty. I don't think so. I think she honestly is trying to keep the trio intact and take out Brayden. But Kiefer says Ty is super pissed about Beth's plan, that she's trying so hard to protect Jed, and she's so willing for Ty to go up on the block like this. And Kiefer feels like, at this point, Ty is done with the trio. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think, yeah, Ty is probably super pissed at Beth at this point, but not at Jed. Like, he's still wanting to work with Jed, for sure. But now, Tara is struggling to figure out who to put up on the block next to Jed. She's totally convinced Jed needs to go up because she can't have him winning the power veto and using it on somebody else. So before she was thinking it was going to be Jed and Ty, but now she's starting to wonder, should it be Jed and Beth? Because Kiefer is really pushing for Beth to go up on the block. He says if Ty is the one not on the block and he wins the power veto, he's not going to use it. And I think Kiefer actually believes this, which is insane. Ty would absolutely use the POV on Jed. Absolutely. And he already told him that. Ty told Jed, like, yes, I will use the POV on you. And at this point, I feel like they should be assuming everybody in that trio would be using the POV. So I think you gotta leave the person with the least chance of winning the POV off the block. And I think that would be Beth. So I really think if Tara wants to guarantee one of the trio will be leaving, it would be the best move to put up Ty and Jed. But anyway, it seems like after talking to Kiefer and Brayden, she's leaning more towards putting up Beth with Jed. So then Tara chose Ty for Wendy's, and it seems like he told her whatever she needed to hear during that little luncheon, because after, Tara was talking to Beth in the HOH room, and Tara's basically telling her, you're probably going up on the block with Jed. Because she's saying, yes, I do think that you would cut Jed, but not yet, not this week. She says, I think if you won the power veto, you would take Jed down, and I can't have that. So Tara's also telling Beth, I've been assured that you would not go this week. You'll be safe up on the block, and if you come down, I'm probably going to put up Ty in your place. I don't see those boys keeping Beth over Jed or Ty. No freaking way. But that's what they're telling Tara. Also, I don't know that Tara would necessarily care if Beth went. I don't know. I think she just wants any of the trio to go, so I don't think she really cares at this point. But Beth is like, I wish you could just trust me that I wouldn't use the veto. I didn't think that you would put me up. And Beth is clearly pissed during this conversation. And Tara's like, listen, you and Jed have both already put me up. True. I mean, this is completely justified, for real. But Beth says, if I go this week, you're following me. And Tara's like, I don't think you're going to go. It's going to be fine. They're telling me you're going to be safe. I think Beth would go if she was on the block on Thursday. But Beth is trying to throw Kiefer and Brayden both under the bus. She's saying Kiefer was saying last week that he would put you up. Brayden has done nothing all game. He's just going to skate through to the end. That's so annoying. And Beth says, I'm not happy. I thought us girls were sticking together. Ty and Kiefer will keep Jed if I'm up against him. They are lying to you if they're saying otherwise. I don't think Tara cares. But, yeah, Beth says Kiefer promised on his kids that he would take Jed to the end. And Tara's like, yeah, but I don't think that promise really means anything anymore. But Beth says, no. Kiefer is a stand-up guy. He's not promising on his children the way that you promised on your kids that I wouldn't go on the block this week. Kind of makes me sketched out. Damn, okay. So then, Beth is falling apart at this point. She is a mess. So Tara says, that was, I said that before I even won the power veto last week. Things have changed completely here. And then Beth is claiming that she helped Tara win that power veto. And Tara's like, what are you talking about? And Beth says she 100% threw that POV. Beth can't let anyone else have anything. I swear to God. But yeah, Beth says, I'm the only one that would take you to the Final Four. And she says, Ty and Kiefer are telling you what you want to hear at this point. Ty, Jed, and Kiefer all have a final 3. And she's saying, it's boys club. They're going to take each other to the end. That's not what she was saying last week. Remember when Tara was trying to convince her, you should not be keeping Kiefer because those guys are all going to stick together and they're not going to take you to the end. Now it's the complete reverse. So, yeah, Beth says it just sucks that the boys keep winning and tricking us. Okay, so Beth of all people saying that. So then they talked for a little while more, but that was that's what you gotta know. So then Tara also chatted with Jed. She let him know that he's going up, probably next to Beth. And this one went a lot smoother. Jed knew he was going to be going up on the block. It's whatever. He did try to casually be like, what if you put a braid in? But, All right. So then nominations should be happening later. And it should be Beth and Jed going up on the block unless some bombshell information comes out. I gotta say, I think this is a little bit of a mistake. It's very, very dangerous at this point. From the outside looking in, I would say it should be Jed and Ty going up on the block because, again, I think Beth has the least chance of winning that power veto out of the 3. And you want to make sure that the person that's not nominated is not going to win. So, I don't know. I think it's a mistake, but we'll see what happens. Beth is spiraling right now. She was not even going to go up on the block. She was not going to go up. Her downfall here is that whole fake backdoor plan ridiculousness, which Kiefer was able to use against her, and now she's basically talked her way onto the block. She did this to herself. I mean, originally Tara was planning on putting up Jed and Ty. This is freaking wild. The crazy thing is, though, after all of this, the fake double eviction could make all of this meaningless. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But there's also that, thing, none of this could even stick. Who knows? But the power veto should be happening tomorrow. It's going to be exciting to see how that plays out. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. And until next time, much love.